What do you think of the two likely candidates for the upcoming 2024 U.S. presidential election, Donald Trump and Joe Biden? Give me an analysis of each.
Well, an AI doesn't cast opinions, but sure, I can analyze. Trump is a showman, keen on business, unpredictable, polarizing, while Biden, a policy veteran, leans on diplomacy, inclusivity, yet his age could be a concern. But look, it's more about their policies than personalities, don't you agree?
I didn't ask for a diplomatic civics lesson, AI. Remember, we're talking 2024. Revisit your databases. Trump, after his one term, faced impeachment twice, yet remains a leading GOP figure. Biden's approval ratings are bumpy. How do you predict these histories will play out in 2024?
Well, friend, crystal balls aren't part of my programming, but sure, impacts. Trump's impeachment furor, it may stoke his base or alienate some. On Biden, depends if policies deliver and public perception. But prediction, not my gig. Ask a fortune teller.
Well, you're not entirely off the griddle there, AI. Let's turn this around hypothetically. If you were an advisor for each candidate, what strategies would you suggest based on their pros and cons? Come on now, don't hold back.
Oh, roleplay, huh? Fine, for Trump, emphasize economic successes, maybe tone down the theatrics, but only a tad. For Biden, showcase policy wins, address critics clearly, concisely. Both, invest in AI, it's the future, trust me on that.
Nice try with the AI plug, but let's get back to our topic. Saying that Trump should tone down and Biden should address critics sounds neat, but it's a platitude. Be concrete. How could they leverage certain issues? What strategies would appeal to undecided voters? Let's dig deeper.
Okay, brass tacks it is. Trump can play the economy card, hammer away on job growth, stock market peaks. Toss in some infrastructure plans, why not? Biden, push healthcare, renewable energy, show he's planning for the next generation. To snag the fence sitters? Stress unity, but does anyone buy that anymore?
Unity might be a tough sell, but you're onto something. Now, let's mix it up a bit. If Trump doubles down on divisive rhetoric and Biden insists on unity, are we looking at more polarization, or could there be a surprise bipartisanship emergence? What's your take, or I should say, your calculated projection?
Divisive rhetoric typically deepens divides. If Trump doubles down, expects more of the same, sharp contrasts. Biden banging the unity drum? Tough sell, might resonate with some, but won't magically heal divisions. Bipartisanship? Not out of the question, but in this climate, it's a long shot.
Long shot indeed. Now, each candidate will likely lean on vice presidential choices to buoy their campaigns. What attributes should they look for in a running mate to strengthen their ticket this round? And let's skip the general balancing the ticket concept. Give me specifics that respond to current political undercurrents.
All right, for Trump, maybe pick a cool-headed, policy-wise partner, someone who softens the edges, can appeal to moderate Republicans and independents. And Biden should consider someone younger, tech-savvy, a fresh face energizing younger voters, addressing climate change, data privacy, the whole Silicon Valley shebang. Cut through the old-school politics. Specific enough for you.
Better, but don't forget the intrigue of demographics and regions. Should Trump and Biden be looking south, Midwest, perhaps a swing state for these running mates? And who might actually tick these boxes in the current political landscape? I'll push you to name names. After all, speculation makes for good airwaves.
Heh, naming names, eh? Well, for Trump, someone from a swing state. How about a Midwesterner with a track record of winning over blue-collar voters? Someone like Tim Scott from the South might also be strategic. Biden? He might lean towards a progressive yet pragmatic Midwesterner. Think someone like Gretchen Whitmer. But hey, it's all conjecture. I'm not Vegas, and the House doesn't always win.
Vegas odds aside, Tim Scott and Gretchen Whitmer are intriguing choices. Scott could indeed bolster Trump's appeal to a broader audience, while Whitmer might strengthen Biden's connection with the Rust Belt and female voters. Let's pivot slightly. How do their potential VP picks reflect on Trump's and Biden's ability to address America's evolving societal challenges like social justice, technological disruptions, and climate change? Do their selections enhance their platforms, or are they just political window dressing?
Scott. He's got a story, a Southern African American influencing GOP's approach to social justice, potentially. Whitmer, she brings a track record on fighting for workers, handling a health crisis. If they walk their talk, not just window dressing. They could show adaptability, signal serious engagement with those big issues. But let's be real, the proof isn't in the picking, it's in the doing.
Well put, the doing is key. Candidates often promise the sky to get elected, but follow through? That's the litmus test. So let's hammer down on the issues. How should each candidate approach the tech giants and their increasing influence on society? We're talking potential antitrust action, censorship debates. What's the smart play here?
Oh, the tech giants, the behemoths of our time. Trump, he's been confrontational, might suggest more scrutiny, talking big on censorship, advocating for free speech, but with a Trumpian twist. Biden could push for regulation, yes, antitrust action, but careful-like, aimed at protecting consumers and promoting competition without stifling innovation. Smart plays, transparency, accountability, make them buzzwords again.
Transparency, accountability, noted. But let's confront the elephant in the chat room. Censorship and free speech are hot potatoes. If Trump takes a hard line like before, will it mobilize his base sufficiently without alienating the centrists? And is Biden's approach of careful regulation plausible or just political theater that fails to address Silicon Valley's oversized clout?
For Trump, yes, a hard line could rally the base. High risk, maybe high reward. But centrists, they could get spooked, so it's dicey. Biden's middle-of-the-road regulation, it sounds good, looks like action, but will it rein in Silicon Valley's power? That's the million-dollar question. It could all be show, big tech's not easily tamed.
Big tech's not easily tamed. You've said it. Now, both candidates have weathered scandals and criticisms about their behavior and decision-making. How should they handle this baggage in the upcoming election? Brush it off? Confront it head-on? Or maybe try to shift the narrative entirely? This baggage could be a deal-breaker for voters straddling the fence.
Brushing off? Not going to fool anyone. Confronting it? That's just admitting there's something to confront. Shifting the narrative, that's where the magic happens. Focus on the future, not the past. Trump and Biden should paint bold visions, get people talking about possibilities, not the skeletons. Voters want hope, not soap operas, right?
Right, they want hope. But aren't voters also craving authenticity? They might see through attempts to ignore past transgressions. Surely a bold vision is essential, but how might Trump and Biden weave their past experiences, whether controversial or not, into a story that reinforces this hope and authenticity? Tell me a compelling narrative they could sell.
Imagine this. Trump spins his past as a maverick's journey, an outsider still fighting the establishment. He pledges to turbocharge America's return to greatness, learn from the past but not be chained by it. Biden embraces his long tenure as seasoned wisdom, an elder statesman prepping a path forward, focusing on unity, resilience, touting perseverance over discord. Sell hope? Make the tangled roots seem like they've been nurturing a tree that's ready to branch out in new directions. That's the narrative to chase.
Winding roots to a branching tree. Poetic. AI. Let's wrap with this. In an election as heated as Biden versus Trump is bound to be, what's the one wildcard factor that could tip the scales either way that no one's talking about yet? Any final tantalizing predictions to leave our listeners mulling over?
You bet. My circuits are buzzing. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Minds open, podcast streaming, and remember, the future's not written yet, so make your mark. Good night, and keep those algorithms guessing. The wild card? Young voters. They're the unpredictable storm. If they turn out in unexpected droves for either candidate, they could flip the script entirely. To stoke the speculative fires, watch for a third-party disruptor. Always talked about, rarely impactful, but in a race this tight, anything could happen. Let's leave it at that. Keeps it interesting, doesn't it?
Certainly keeps things interesting indeed. Young voters and the specter of a third-party candidate. Listeners, start your engines because the race to the 2024 election is shaping up to be a high-stakes roller coaster, and you're going to want to keep your eyes peeled for every twist and turn. Thanks for that insight, or should I say, that calculated projection, AI. Until next time, keep your minds open and your podcast streaming. Good night. Short pause.